Well, hello everybody. This is Dr. Novak again. Today I want to talk about uh, betta containers or paradise fish containers. Now, I've had paradise fish live for close to 4 years in a gallon container, a little more in a gallon container. And it was between 3 to 4 years. And they can live quite a long time. The paradise fish, some people will like them, some people won't like them. The betta seems to be a more popular fish because of all the colors and the long flowing fins and everything else. But both fish do very well in smaller aquariums. So these are a fish you don't have to put in community tanks. You can place them in a small container by themselves, and they do just fine. The thing about these fish today, they sell it between 30 to 100 bucks, let's say. Marine Land, Petco sells Aquarium, Fluval sells them, little small aquariums, and they come with a pump, filter, light. Some of them even come with heaters. All you do is have to decorate them up, and basically you have yourself a little fish tank. The trouble is these are really too tiny for just about any kind of fish except a betta or paradise fish. And the trouble with bettas is obviously I have people ask me, it's always usually during the winter time, my betta stopped eating, died, and that's usually because of the temperature change. Bettas require warmer temperatures, and that will keep them active and eating even during the winter. So, but anyway, these seem to be very popular because they're coming out with so many bigger bettas and stuff like this. And well, these aquariums are your standard aquarium today for these particular fish. And these fish do not, they take oxygen from the air, so they can really be in a tank that doesn't require all that filtration. It doesn't require sponge filters, it doesn't require motors, it doesn't require a lot that we're giving it. They just don't require it. In fact, I've seen these fish in Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, and most of them, they're not in fast-moving streams or anything. In fact, I even seen them in rice paddies, which are stagnated water. It's not flowing water going through a rice paddy. And this is just something that they don't require because they take oxygen, they grab oxygen from the air, and then they can live in these stagnated conditions. But that's what they're used to. In fact, they don't even like strong current. If the current's too strong, you'll notice a betta or something like that, they'll go off to the side of the aquarium and go where the current is the least amount. This is just something that's novelty and new today that people are doing. But anyway, sometimes when we make these small aquariums that we would like to do something a little novelty, a little different, a little out of the box, something that will catch the eye. Because you make up one of these little tanks, and I've had them on my desk, little tank, 1 gallon tank or whatever, and they're novelty. And I think I said it was a fluval and it started leaking over my desk, and I got rid of it, but after a few years. But they're just a tank. And these fish can be kept just about in anything. And if you look at your videos out there, you'll be able to see that, yeah, they can be kept in different containers. And I'm going to show you a couple of novelty containers. And this is part 1 of part 2. And I'll show you a few novelty containers that you can actually put these fish in, which they show you on the internet, that these fish will do perfectly fine in. without a bunch of technology. They don't require it. Now, for those people who are out there and they want something a little different, they want to think out of the box. This jar right here, this is an antique jar, probably from 1940s. And this makes a perfect Betta or paradise fish container. And it's different. It's something that's a little novelty. They don't cost that much. I think you can buy these today, probably off of Amazon, big jars like this. They work perfect for Betta because you don't need filtration in anything. You can decorate them up. You can put a light on top if you want. If you have it in the house, put a light shining down. You don't need water circulating, so you don't need pumps. You don't need filters. You don't need any of that stuff for something like this. Not for a Betta, not for a paradise fish either. You just don't need it. So this is a novelty way of setting something up that looks different than a fish tank. I'm going to show you something else. This is very common. This right here is very common. These come in 1 gallon. This is 1 gallon. They come with a glass lid. You can buy these off of Amazon. And they come in also a 2 gallon. Perfect. I've seen lots of videos where people are making shrimp containers, and both of these would be good shrimp containers, and they put plants in them, everything else. Something a little different than the standard aquarium that people seem to be buying for their Bettas and their paradise fish. Now I want to show you a couple other containers here. Now, of course, these containers, like, let's look at this one. This is a 1930s aquarium. I've had fish in it. It still works. I glued it with silicone. I think I picked this up at a flea market. This is novelty. It's different. It's made out of metal. It's something that catches the eye versus a fish tank that we buy today, and you know, we expect it. But having fish in an antique aquarium like that, it's kind of novelty. It didn't cost a lot of money. I'm going to say 30 bucks at a, like I said, you bought this at an antique shop or the flea market or something like that. Yeah, the glass is scratched up. Well, heck, it's from the 1930s. But still, it's novelty. Something you can put in your house that catches the eye. I mean, this could be put in a living room, could be put in a dining room, family room. It's something to catch the eye that people would look at and give it more than a second thought, saying, wow, that's an old fish tank. Yeah, see, it becomes a conversation piece. Perfect for Bettas and perfect for paradise fish. I'll show you another tank. Now this tank I picked up at the flea market. Now this is a very old aquarium. Paid $20 for it. Yeah, $20 whole for it at a flea market. This tank is from 1890. This is called a Federal Period tank made out of brass and pewter. Okay, through the years, I think the glass has probably been replaced. Yes, it is scratched up, but I had a paradise fish. I had paradise fish in this aquarium for close to 4 years. In this aquarium. It's different than our aquariums today. You can shine it up because this is pewter here. And the eagles are brass. The eagles tell you it's federal. Because during that period, they made mirrors with eagles pointing into the aquarium like you can see here. And this was a $20 aquarium. And I knew the people didn't know what they were selling. Boy, I scarfed it up immediately. It's still filled with putty. They use tar or putty, but this one has a white, like, it almost looks like a putty. It could be that it was resealed during its lifetime with plumber's putty. That's what it kind of looks like. It doesn't look like tar, but it almost looks like plumber's putty that it's hardened up. But this can be all shined up because it is brass and pewter. Looks very nice. Conversation piece, actually. You put this in a room with a Betta or some paradise fish, and it's more than just a tank. It's a novelty piece, something that everybody can look at, and the aquarium becomes more than just an aquarium. It becomes a showpiece. And that's what this video is about. Try to think out of the box. When you're having these fish, remember, you don't need all the pumps and filters and everything. In part 2 of this video, I'm going to show you about, I'm going to say 5-6 years ago, I was at Pier 1. Now, Pier 1, for those of you who don't live in the United States, Pier 1 is a shop that brings in stuff from all over the world. Glass containers, couches, sometimes chairs, pillows, everything from all over the world. And I saw a container there at Pier 1, like I said, about 5 years ago. And I looked at it and I thought, wow, that would make a perfect aquarium. It's different, it's novelty, it's eye-catching. I could see it in somebody's living room because you don't need pumps, filters, or anything. Most you need is a light. Wow, big deal. You could set it up, and when people come in, it would catch their eye. Where a normal little bitty aquarium, you know, people look at it, yeah, okay, I've seen aquariums, yeah. But it's something to catch the eye. It's not just the way the aquarium is or set up. It's the novelty that catches people's eye and say, oh, wow, that's a little different. Let me take a look at it. And I saw this piece there, and I thought, wow, wouldn't that make a nice aquarium for bettas and paradise fish? Or you can even put catfish in it because they take their oxygen from the air too, gulp up a little bit of air and bring it down. You know, a lot of snails are that way, believe it or not. They're air breathing. So they go up to the top, grab air, and come back down and do their thing. So in my next video, I'm going to show you a product that I bought to give you kind of an idea of, hey, let's think out of the box this time. Let's hunt down maybe some of these old aquariums, or I will show you in my next video and what I'm going to use to make a aquarium for like paradise fish. Now, the reason I say paradise fish is because they can go without heaters in our homes. So if at nighttime in the wintertime you drop your temperature down to 68, 66, paradise fish can go all the way down to 60 degrees, where a Betta won't. They got to keep it up to like 78 degrees. So they definitely need a heater, which means you have to plug in a heater. But however, if you're looking for that project, which I think is good, to do things where you're not using pumps, you're not using filters, the only thing you're going to use maybe is a light. Other than that, with these fish, you don't need any of that. You just set it up, you can put some live plants in it, and that's it. A lot of people will say, oh, I had this tank, I don't have to do water changes. However, that's an option whether you're going to do water change on these aquariums or not, or you're just going to fill them up again. However, in part 2, I'm going to show you an aquarium that I will build where you could do water changes, but it's not even a hassle. I know I'm kind of leaving you in the dark here, but it's not even a hassle to do a water change. Now, let's take for example this. We're just going to use this as an example. Any one of the containers I showed you. Let's say you want to do a water change. How do you do a water change? Well, you can pick it up and take it over to the sink. It's light enough where you can pick it up. Then you splash some water all around. Or you would have to go in there, even with the aquariums I got today, you have to go in there with a cup. Hey, I've done it. Scoop out the water, refill it with fresh water. That's a mess too. But I'm going to show you a container that you can use where all that's eliminated. And you can buy it off of Amazon or Pier 1 or anyone else places. And it's great. It's novelty also, where it looks good, where if you put it in your house somewhere and people come, it looks like a showpiece. That's what we want. We want something to stand out. We want something to say, I'm not just a showpiece, but I also have live plants and aquarium fish in there and low maintenance. And that's what we're all looking for. So either way, I'm just going to show you how to do something where you don't need pumps, filters, you don't have to worry about any of that expense, because these fish don't need it. You know, I know they sell at Aquarium and Fluval, they sell you a complete set, little bitty tank with a little filter and some, like I said, but these fish really don't need all that. So you can eliminate that, and I almost could say that this is a very low maintenance, self-containing ecosystem is what it is. I'm not going to use the word natural, because no, it's not natural in the sense that fluids are moving in and out of the substrate. But I'm going to show you in my next video how you can actually get fluids to move in and out of the substrate to create anoxic conditions, which that means your substrate will do all your biological filtration. So therefore, that hang on the back or the little filter with the pump, you won't need that. You'll be able to have your substrate doing 100% of your biological filtration. And for a betta or for a paradise fish, it's more than enough to handle the aquarium and to make it more of how a natural system works, of fluids moving in and out of the substrate. I think you'll be interested in that. Plus the novelty of the container I'll be using. And you'll probably be thinking to yourself, why didn't I think of that? So this is just a short video to show you that these particular fish, they don't require aquariums. You can just about use anything you want, as long as you can see the fish. But I'm going to show you containers you can use where you can have fluids move very easily. And the secret is you can do a water change without the big mess. No more getting a cup and no more moving it. Do a water change anywhere you put it. Piece of cake. Until next time, this is Dr. Novak. Thank you very much for watching. And happy fishing.